So Transformers Galactic Trials is a game that I haven't heard many things about, and what I did hear was less than positive. So Outright Games was kind enough to let me form my own opinion, and I have a lot to say. The story isn't what's important, but they do take the time to at least establish a small reason for the races in the game to go on. Nemesis Prime stole a bunch of artifacts, but before he could escape, his ship was destroyed, spreading the artifacts around. So now the Autobots and Decepticons are racing to retrieve them. Sure, it doesn't quite make sense on why bots can defeat bots and cons can defeat cons, but it's not a big deal at all, and I appreciate that they did tie a little bit of lore to the trials, championships, and races we participate in. There are a few characters on both sides of the roster. For the Autobots, we have Optimus, Bumblebee, Wheeljack, RC, and RC. If you know, then you know. For Decepticons, we have Megatron, Soundwave, Shockwave, Flamemore, Nightbird, and Nemesis Prime. Could there have been more iconic ones there instead? Probably. But I like the lineup myself. Nightbird being built by us humans kinda makes her an odd choice for Cybertronian trials, but I doubt any of the kids playing will have any clue who she is, and instead will be hyped by the fact that she's basically a doggone ninja. Those characters aren't just skins for the same experience either. There are 3 classes that primarily affect mobility and health. For the racing part, the light class is the best to use, with medium still feeling good, and heavy being quite a bit too sluggish for my taste. So sluggish that I actually loathe racing with it. It could be chalked up as a skill issue though if I'm being honest. But during the run and gun sections, the light class I love for racing gets their health absolutely disintegrated, so I gotta balance it out by staying out of the line of fire in some regard. The heavy class can tank that damage far better, so while the lighter classes are respawning behind them, they can use that moment to get ahead. The medium classes are balanced but don't excel at anything, so it's good for starting out, all things considered. Stats like health and speed can go up as you gain experience and level your characters up. It can feel kinda grindy at times, but gives more of a reason to keep playing. There are 2 skins to unlock as well, what I believe to be Shattered Glass if I remember right, and Gold Plated. But what differentiates the characters the most is that they all have unique abilities, or skills I believe they are called, ones that can be used during the run and gun sections to summon Laserbeak if you're Soundwave, or use an axe I believe if you're Optimus, or use your stingers if you're Bumblebee, and you can unlock another skill once you get to a certain level. There are also different guns that you can equip to these characters depending on their type to make it so you do more damage but have a slower fire rate, or maybe you have less ammo instead, or maybe you do less damage but you fire far more shots, so if you do a lot of missing there's more leeway room there. They can make and break the game, and to unlock a lot of weapons, you can do it by getting the chance to use them instead of an actual mod that you equip during your runs, because you equip mods during your Galactic Trials to make the game easier, but instead of a mod, you can equip a gun, and then if you do challenges during that mission that are set with that gun, then you can unlock it permanently. You can also get it through loot crates. You don't buy these with real money, you unlock them as you play the game. Lastly, to unlock more characters, you have a set of challenges you have to complete for those as well, which also does a decent job at extending the playtime by making it feel fulfilling, as they can be pretty dad blame challenging, tied to difficulty 2 actions and 2 victories. This isn't a AAA game though, and that needs taken into consideration, but I truly don't believe it's as bad as a lot of others are saying. The graphics are fine, especially for kids who might like the more shiny aesthetic over something a bit more dirty and war-torn. The gameplay is fun, even with admittedly stiff animation and controls at times. A sensitivity setting for driving instead of just for the camera would definitely benefit the game as a whole though. Sadly, there have been quite a bit of game-breaking bugs, like a moment where I respawned and was walking to shoot enemies even though I was in a frickin' racing part and needed to move fast. There was no way to get around it, no way to fix it, and it caused me a loss I otherwise wouldn't have had. The races are short, so things like that aren't a huge deal or anything, but since there doesn't seem to be any real plans to update a fix, I feel obligated to point it out in case it's a deal breaker for you. It surprisingly wasn't for me, and with a couch co-op option, it would be fun to play with friends as well as with family. If you want a game to play with your kids, then this is definitely a recommendation for that. It has many different locations from the Transformers universe, characters that are iconic and others that are not so much. Regardless, this would be an awesome introduction to them that would open the door to exploring more about Transformers with people who don't know much about it. The shooting sections intertwined with the racing was one of the most unique things for me. It took me a moment to get used to it, I'm not gonna lie, but now that I am, I do love the flow of swapping back and forth, especially during a few levels on Cybertron. They are the best examples of this game at its best, and I will definitely be using them in reviews in the future, so be prepared for that. So yeah, I recommend it for Transformers fans, especially ones with friends and kids to play it with. On sale, it's a pretty fun experience for a racing game as well, with the shooting sections alone making it worth at least giving a try to see if the formula works for you. Just wait for a sale if you aren't planning on playing it with others, or just to experience Cybertron in a different way than you did in the Cybertron games. I appreciate the review key and truly hope updates come out that can make it a recommend without a sale. Just wishlist it on Steam or PlayStation and you'll get a notification on if it ever drops in price. Anyway, that's all I have to say. For more news, reviews, and whatever we choose, stay tuned to Nerds Feed. Have a great day. Thank you.